Yo, yo.
Can you see me very good?
What's up?
I said, can you see me good?
Am I listening to them right now?
No, I said, can you see me good?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. Let's see if I can turn you up. What are you drinking?
So I'm trying to I'm trying to cut back on so much beer. So this is a vodka with I guess it's a Greyhound because it's a vodka with some soda water and grapefruit juice.
Oh, nice. How is that?
It's great, man. It's delicious. What's up, everybody that's joining us? Lance, what's up?
What's up, man? How's it going?
What are you drinking on?
So, I got this new whiskey. Have you heard of Yellow Wolf?
The rapper? Yeah.
Yeah, he put out his like this line of whiskey that I ordered up, and I ordered that. It's called Creekwater, so it's a whiskey and Coke. I miss jamming too, dude. We'll have to get back into that.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I didn't even know. I feel like people just have their own alcohols now, so way to go for Yellow Wolf.
Yeah, right?
Is it good?
You have to mix it with Coke. I mean, I can't sip on just straight whiskey and ice.
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, how's the family? How's your week?
It was good, man. Hang on one second. Yeah, dude. Cheers. Let's definitely get together and listen to music, jam, or whatever. We'll all make it happen. But yeah, man, the week's going good. Staying busy. We got the kids this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. What about you?
Same for me, man. I got the girls this weekend. I'm moving, so that has its own stress to it, but it's been cool, man. What's up,
Yeah,
Sam?
dude. You're moving more south. That's where I need to be.
Dude, I'm pretty stoked. I mean, just kind of happens to be coincidental that the band that we're going to be talking about tonight is from San Diego.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm stoked to be going to be officially a San Diegan in San Diego, so I'm really stoked. That's right, SD baby. Isn't that
I'll be down there.
Tony's the guitarist? Is that his brand? The little S with the no?
No, it's not his brand. It's a brand called Deadview.
Okay.
That's based out of San Diego, and I think they're just Tony's. But yeah, the band
Right
that we're
on,
talking
man.
about today is Pierce the Veil, which I am super excited about.
Yeah, man. So before we hop into it, is there any cool stories about this week? Anything that you can think that stood out, personal?
Not a whole lot. I did read today that City and Color is going to be on tour with Alice in Chains.
Oh,
Opening. And I also read that Amberlin's going to be touring again.
nice.
So I know usually we talk about it at the end of the show, but yeah, I read that and was super excited.
Hell yeah, man. That's rad.
But yeah, dude, I mean, not many stories. It's just another week. I look forward to these Tuesdays now. Honestly, it's fun to get on and chat and
Yeah, man.
have a hobby to do.
Yeah, I like it. What I really like about it is the consistency. If we can continue just to keep knocking these out, and I love the mobility too. It gives me no excuse because I always have my phone on me, and all I have to do is click live, and I'm there. And I really feel like that's where this platform is moving. I mean, with just in general, because you have like Instagrammers that like kind of curate their Instagram, and then you have like YouTubers that like edit and do their videos. But when I saw John Mayer, he started doing this thing called Current Moods, and he just gets on every Sunday and just kind of talks to the camera on live. I was like, that's gonna be the next thing, man, because people like real life stuff, and it makes it easy for us to do this because we always have our phones in our pockets. So how easy is it to just
It's super convenient. I know I've stressed about this dude before, but I'm just gonna say it again. Rat Boy. If anybody is looking for some new music or just because I get to that sometimes where I'm just like, fuck, dude, I need something new to listen to. I'm gonna keep pushing this Rat Boy.
Yeah.
I can't get over him, dude. He's great. I listen to him all day today. And then Plague Vendor put out a new single.
Ooh, dude, Plague Vendor.
The Whittier Boys and
The Whittier Boys, man, the Heart Attacks that became Repeat, that became Plague Vendor, man. They are, dude, that band, I just wish them the best, man. They are so good.
yeah, they put out a new single, and I'm not even gonna talk about it. Just go check it out. We gotta put links of all this shit that we talk about, but yeah. Rat Boy, new Plague Vendor, definitely gotta check that out.
Hell yeah, man. That's rad. Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of I need to listen to more new stuff. But I've just been listening to like State Champs and like old poppy stuff like the Somerset and
Oh yeah.
Poppy is all hell. At the same time too, I've been listening to a lot of like old school like Tupac, Nas, old Snoop, like just old school hip hop.
Same here, dude. We should get together and get a playlist going.
Yeah.
An iTunes playlist. That'd be kind of cool. I did one a couple months ago of just songs that were huge on MySpace, and it's called the MySpace playlist, I think.
Yeah, I think you sent me that.
If anybody wants to check that out, it's super cool. But you know, that's another cool thing is the iTunes thing is that I could see what you're listening to or what you have on a rotation, and it's kind of cool to see what Apple was doing there. That's it. I like it.
Yeah.
And that's another way to find new music as well. You know, see what your homies are listening to.
Definitely. This is going to be the first Instagram Live that I have both recorded and saved on my phone, so then I can upload it to YouTube too. So that it's going to be available for 24 hours, but we'll also create a YouTube page. So then if you want to watch old episode, you can just go on there and check it out.
So without further ado,
yeah, man.
Today's band is Pierce the Veil.
Pierce the fucking Veil, man. God, this takes me back to what was it? Fuck, man. I feel like I was a youngin' when I first heard about these guys.
Say 2006, 2007, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember supposedly Trevor told me that we played a show. I can't confirm it, but he told me that we played a show with their original band called Before Today at the Alley in downtown Fullerton. I don't remember it, but to be honest, I don't remember a good portion of those shows. So whether it happened or not, I don't
What
know.
band was that?
So I think it was had to be Touch Response.
Okay, that sounds about right.
So,
About right.
but I do remember a good an old friend, a person that I think that you might remember, Haley Brown. She's the one that actually, sorry, correction, Haley Franco. She's married now. Sorry, Haley. But she's the one I feel like that really got me into Pierce, and man, I was blown away. I think during that summer, I considered them like a Warped Tour band because I feel like I heard about them through Warped Tour and Haley, and then they had that like high pitched voice that I was just so into in like early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah, I found them through, they were on tour with Chiodos. And I remember seeing them at Chain Reaction, and there was probably 15 to 20 people there watching them. And I remember telling, I think it was, I think I was there with Richard and Alex, and Richard was like, these guys are lame. And I'm like, no, dude, these guys are dope. And I remember for the longest time, dude, I was the only one who liked them. And then all of a sudden, dude, they turned out to be something really special. And like you said, they had that high-pitched voice that just kind of stuck out. It was unique. I mean, a lot of people were doing it at the time, but something about Vic's voice, to me, just really stood out. It was, we use this term a lot, it was whiny but beautiful.
Oh, 100%, man. 100%. And people, that's the first thing people, whenever I show Pierce the Veil or anybody with the, like, Sleeping with Sirens, anybody with the high, or Chiodos, anyone with a high-pitched voice, people always are like, oh, man, it's so squeaky, so whiny. But for us, it's just beautiful the way that they do it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So it looks like, I mean, the band was first formed with the brothers, the Fuentes brothers, Vic and Mike. Vic is the frontman, and Mike is the drummer. And they came from a band called Before Today. And before they were Before Today, they were called Earlier Times, San Diego natives. And then they acquired Jamie, who goes by Jaime, if you follow the band. And then later picked up Tony. And the kind of really cool thing, again, one thing I really like about this band and bands that we talked about in the past is when they can keep the original lineup, like Under Oath. Under Oath obviously went through a change and then came back, but Pierce the Veil has not changed, with a little asterisk now. I don't know if we want to go down that road, but ever since the beginning, it was those four dudes, and I've always heard rumors of. I think there was like a piano player that they had, but he would not be on stage. He was like the side.
Yeah, I've seen him a handful of times, and one show they had him on stage and he was a member, and then the other shows he's, like you said, he's hidden. But live, they're great. I've seen them a few times at Chain. I've seen them a handful of times at Warped Tour. And then even recently, I caught him at the Fox Theater in Pomona. And, just to see how far they've grown has been absolutely insane. And, what more can you say, dude? You got good musicians putting out good music. It's going to get noticed if you stick to it. But I want to tackle the first album, A Flair for the Dramatic.
Oh yeah, that's actually what I have playing in the background right now, man. I mean,
if I'm gonna pick an album, dude, it's got to be that one. And I know we always talk about bands and their first albums, but man, this has to be hands down my favorite album. Number one, it was put out by Equal Vision, which at the time was just the label that everybody wanted to be on, and at that time they had everybody.
Yeah.
Equal Vision was cracking, but what I love about the album that it was written with just Mike and Vic. The two brothers wrote the whole album, and it was produced by Casey Bates, who is just a phenomenal producer. So I think that's why it's so freaking special to me. It's great from beginning to end, and yeah, man. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think you nailed it on the head, man. They came out so strong. I mean, they had so many hits on that album, and the fact that just those two brothers were just the ones that kind of went into the studio and just knocked it out. I just recently watched their little kind of documentary where they went on like kind of like a world tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just by listening to the album, in the documentary, Vic talks about how much he loves harmonies. I mean, that's what this album has, a lot of harmonies, and he nails every single song. Not to jump ahead, but we kind of always kind of talk about sophomore albums, and that kind of really makes or breaks a band. These guys with their sophomore album, Selfish Machines, fucking knock it out of the park, and they totally catch the curve on the whole Day to Remember thing, because that's right when Day to Remember starts blowing up, and their single off that album features a singer from Day to Remember.
Yep.
And it's phenomenal. But yeah, the early years. So for Far From the Dramatic, just everything on the album is so catchy. It's so well produced. And it kind of almost set the tone for the rest of the scene, because then a lot of copycats came along and tried to mimic that kind of sound. I know that Mike is a big fan of his drums sounding real and not sounding too fake or produced, because I mean that's what everyone was doing. I mean, no trash on like The Devil Wears Prada or anything like that, but like when you hear bands like that, their drums are just it's too perfect. You know, you want to kind of hear those imperfections, because that's what makes it sound like a real drummer's playing. And that's I feel like it really came through with that first album.
Yeah, and not to mention, they have a couple documentaries, but I watched one specifically on the second album. What is it, Selfish Machines?
Yeah.
The dude knocked out the drum tracks in one day for the whole album.
I saw that, dude. He knocked it out in one day. And for the musicians out there, you guys know that shit. And Lance, a drummer, that shit's not easy to do one day. I mean, that's crazy.
That's 12 songs, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get that down in a day.
It's easy.
Oh, my girlfriend said that's easy.
Oh.
What's cool about it is I didn't know that the guitars for I Did Remember actually helped write the album.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. The original guitar player for Did Remember. But that album, I think that album went gold. That's the only album that they have that has hit charts, I believe.
Oh, really?
I could be mistaken, but yeah, Selfish Machines was awesome, and I think from that point was they branched off and did Isles and Glaciers after that album.
I think you're right. Yeah, that was somewhere in between the quote super band of Pierce and obviously Vic and Mike. I think Mike was drumming, right?
Yeah, Mike was drumming. Vic was playing guitar and vocals. You had Johnny Craig Owens.
Yep.
I think you had Brian's. Is it South Ball or Hall from? What band was he in? Fuck, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Then you had the bass player for Chiodos. It was packed. You had Nick Martin from Underminded, who's the cousin of Vic and Mike, playing guitar and singing. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. And you could really hear, I mean, you could really hear that, like, Vic, Mike, like, you could hear who was really heavily involved in creating those songs and who just came on and did their thing. Like, it's really kind of like Vic's and Mike's and like, well, there's like Brainchild. Craig Owens, they were close with Craig. I know they had a little bit of a falling out with the whole drug problem, but then I think they kind of mended things. But you had Craig, John, when I said Johnny Craig with the with the drug problem. And you could just kind of feel like Craig Owens and Johnny Craig just came on and just like and just ripped all over that.
Yeah, I read an article and they said that they let Johnny Craig just completely run with it.
Yeah.
I think that's where he found himself. But that poor dude, he just got kicked out of the new band that he started.
Did he? What,
Yeah.
What band is that? Slaves?
Slaves.
Damn. He got kicked
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, I guess he relapsed and he is no longer part of that band either. Can you close that window? Yeah.
That's
But we're getting off track. I tend to do that. But like I said, Brian Southall was in Boys Night Out and the receiving end of Sirens.
Ooh, good
was
band.
Was also involved with Isles and Glaciers.
And the receiving end of Siren became the Deer Hunter. Boy, I mean, if you love his voice, I mean, that shit was dope.
Yeah.
So it looks like they stayed with Equal Visions for their first two albums, and I think it's with Collide with the Skies when they go over to Fearless Records.
Yeah, and then that's when Fearless starts stealing all the fucking bands, dude. I mean, their active roster, their active roster is nuts, dude. They have Under Oath, they have The Plot in You, they have freaking August Burns Red. They're stacked. Plain White Tees, speaking of MySpace, but I mean they've had At the Drive-In, dude. I mean the list goes on. They obviously are a great label, dude. I think they put out a few Aquabat albums too.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think they're out of Huntington Beach. I think it's an Orange County label.
Hell yeah, that's dope. Yeah. And then Collide with the Sky is I don't know if this was their single, but that's one of my favorite songs is when they do it with Cullen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens. Yeah, and they just knock it out of the park. They had a really good. I think that's also what won them their award over in Europe. Can't remember the name of the award, but they got best video for that music video with Cullen Quinn.
Yeah, that video is super catchy, dude. It was super well directed. But that's the song that I think everybody probably recognizes them by nowadays. Yeah. I mean, the younger generation was probably that album because Sleeping with Sirens at the time was huge, and Kellen and Vic are just like the teenage dream boys that all these girls want, and that's when they get put. That's when they really start headlining, you know, the festivals and Warped Tour, and that's when I think they really take off. Was with Collide with the Sky, which is another great album. They have Jason from The Fever, and also, you know, Let Live is on that album.
Yeah,
super good album, dude.
When they toured, I think that album is when they toured. And they linked up with the All Time Low Boys, which really did a thing for them. When I first heard that they were going on tour with All Time Low, I was a little confused because I was like, I love All Time Low. They're a real poppy band, and then obviously Pierce the Veil, would be considered maybe like screamo, and clearly it did. It worked. They really toured well together. Their fan bases overlapped really, really well. And that's where they feel like they really kind of built a really good relationship with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, that worked out well. I think they did This Is a Wasteland tour on that album. But the cool thing about that album is I think Vic's voice gets really, I don't want to use the term unique, but he really lets it be himself. There's not so much dubbing. There's not 1,000 backtracks. It's more raw and it's more him. And I think as you listen from the first album to now, you really see them mature. And vocal-wise, I mean, any album they do, I'm going to love. But this album is the one where you're just like, whoa, the dude can sing and he doesn't need 1,000 backtracks. No offense to backtracking, but
no, and I gotta give props.
Raw.
Props to Hyman because he's the one that has to do all those backing vocals and kind of.
Does he?
Yeah, he's the backing vocalist, so he'll do the screams. Like I just watched him do a live version of Kings for a Day, and Jaime is the one that does all of Kellen's parts and do like some of the screaming. So it's dude, props to him because that shit is not easy to try to back up.
I'm gonna pinpoint on that real quick. Have you ever heard his solo project?
Jaime? No, I haven't. I've only ever heard Mikey Whiskey Hands.
Yeah, that'll be a different topic. But yeah, the dude can sing and is a fantastic songwriter.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, I want to say he put out music in 2007, 2008, and I was blown away. And I mean, he also, I think, has his own recording studio, and that's where they record a lot of like the punk churn or punk goes pop. They did all of those with him at his studio. So yeah, he has that, and then Mike does Mikey Whiskey Hands, which at first I think was a joke, and then got some attention.
Yeah, and I want to say is the one that produced the beats for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That is
it's
awesome.
funny because I feel like whenever we talk about Mike, we kind of have to like be real sensitive about that. One cool thing I do remember about Mike when I first saw them play at Chain Reaction, they actually one of their like kind of like live music videos is at Chain, which I really appreciate. Shout out to Chain, but he was one of the first drummers that I saw that did their snare at like a really steep angle, so that every time he hit his snare, he would get a rim shot without really having to think about it, and that really kind of projected live.
Yeah, I mean, he's hands down probably my favorite member of the band. But I did notice that. But the dude's also like 6'3", 6'4". He is tall. A tall, lanky dude. So, I mean, he just towers over his kit, dude. And the dude has, I mean, the artwork that he does, I mean, he was with, I think it was Creation Drums, did a set for him, but then he got endorsed by Truth.
Ooh.
And if you go on Google, dude, the dude has some of the sickest graphics on his kits, dude. Hands down.
Nice.
But, yeah, before we got on, I was like, oh, man, how do we stay off the subject of Mike? But we'll just go ahead and touch it. What a bummer. The dude has sexual allegations brought on him. He's been very, very quiet the past few years.
Yeah.
Very quiet. And as of now, isn't an active member of the band.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's been released because Pierce the Veil's working on new material. So I'm curious as to if they're working with him or not.
Yeah, it is a bummer. I'm in the camp where I'm like, until there's a case and until the justice system kind of steps into its place, I'm gonna just stay in with a giant question mark. Would I be surprised if something happened? No.
Yeah.
Does that mean that he's guilty? No. Have I been in bands and it's one of those things, man, where it can either get really questionable with age and consent and stuff, and at the same time it's absolutely it's absolutely necessary. People that are bands, any band in that role has to really be careful, man. I wish him the best. I hope that maybe that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe this is just a misaccusation. But as of right now, I feel like the band itself, like Pierce, they're doing the smart thing by having him take a back seat, still moving forward as a band. Because for all we know, things could just settle themselves, and then he can come right back. Versus trying to, versus trying to bring the stuff from his personal life and bring that on to the band. Obviously, his brother's the lead singer, so there's a very tight connection. All of them are super close. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I just hope, I hope that it's not the case, that it's maybe just a rumor or there's some kind of misaccusation, but the system will work itself out.
And what blows my mind as I was reading into it is that these accusations happened at Chain, which is a bummer. But I mean, it's been a few years now, so I don't think there's been anything moving forward. I just can't see the band moving forward without him.
Right.
Just my input on it. It would be a bummer to see them move forward without him. So I think they're just letting everything settle. I'm hoping he's going to get back in it because the dude's way too talented to just be sitting around. Like I said, he's one of my favorite drummers, and hopefully that gets settled and cleared soon and they can rock and roll. I mean, the dude's got a huge support system. I've been in a situation where you're in that situation, and it's not easy. So
No.
yeah, that's a bummer. So,
but the good and not dive too much into your personal life because obviously that's going to be separate. But I do know that in certain aspects of yours and my life, the justice system can do its job and then make a wrong a right again.
Yep.
Which obviously that doesn't make up for the suffering that happens in the meantime. But thank God, thank whoever, just that at the end of the day, the wrongs can be made right in time.
Yeah. Yep. So before that happens, they put out Misadventures in 2000. God, that was a while ago. 2016.
Yeah.
Holy moly! Now this album, I think they put out the single. What is it? Texas is Forever, and I was in love with it. Then I listened to the album from front to back, and I almost feel like they wrote the same album twice with Collide with the Sky.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I remember when that album first dropped, I heard it, I started listening to it, and I just, it was just like, it was just typical Pierce. Nothing jumped out at me. Nothing seemed new that like blew my mind. But as my love for them kind of gave me this pass of like, you guys kind of, instead of going above, every album's been a step and a step and a step. You just kind of met the same bar, which is better than taking a back step, I guess.
Yeah. It's just, man, I mean, I've never been in a band long enough to have, 4 albums put out, so I couldn't tell you how the writing process goes or how difficult that would be. I don't know their writing process. I don't know if they sit in a room together or what, but it just didn't do it for me. I mean, I bought the album, I listened to it, and there's a 4 or 5 good songs on there, but the rest of them just like kind of boring.
And that band toured so hard for so long, man, and it's almost like everything kind of collided at the right time. Where obviously they put out this last album, but at the same time, it sounded like everyone needed a break. Everyone needed some time to be home, kind of just settle into home life. I know that. I think almost everyone in the band has a pretty serious, significant other. I don't think any of them are engaged or anything like that.
I think Jaime is, isn't he?
Jaime just got married.
Yeah, Jaime's married.
Oh, Jaime just got married. Oh, right on.
Jaime, if you're watching, congrats, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Congrats.
Sorry.
I don't think he's watching. Yeah, I think you nailed it, dude. I mean, I would imagine being exhausted. I mean, they're doing overseas tours. They're all over the world touring. And I think they just needed a break. I think they rushed that album. I think it was a little bit overproduced, if you ask me. But, I mean, they put it out. It is what it is. It's water under the bridge. I'm excited to see what they come up with next.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see. I'm glad and excited to hear that they're still doing music and there's another album coming out, because I feel like that'll be a pretty defining album for them, because
Yeah.
musician, I'm sure they probably have similar feelings about their albums and know how they feel about them. So it's exciting to see what direction that this next album will take them. I think we kind of already touched on the point that they're San Diego natives, but they're one of the few bands that I know that are like take a lot of pride in being San Diego natives. They embrace where they're from. They also embrace a lot of the Mexican background and culture that they come from. I do know that Vic and Mike's dad was just a hardworking, he was a painter. He painted houses, and they talk about, I think they refer to that in some of the songs they write. And I know that he is a guitar player as well, so that also influenced them, where you can hear in the earlier albums when they use Spanish guitars and this like Latin feel to it. I'm still to the same, never heard a band combine like Screamo with Latin music, and they do a job of combining that.
Yeah, their dad actually wrote a song and recorded it with them in Before Today. It's pretty cool.
Right on.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, that's got to be something special, dude. I mean, I'd be stoked if I was able to do something like that. But favorite album, I'm gonna have to say A Flair for the Dramatic. Freshman album, killed it. I think that's I don't know, that just hits home for me for some odd reason. It was just something about that time and that era. Written by the brothers. Hands down my favorite album.
I would agree with you. That's probably my favorite album. For me, it's really close because I really do like Selfish Machines. But there are so many really good hits off of Flair for the Dramatic. But I want to say my favorite song off of Selfish Machines. I'm trying to find what the song was, because it wasn't like a super popular song. It might have been. I think it's Bulletproof Love.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually, I think that was a single.
Yeah,
they shot a video for it, so it had to have been a single.
I'm thinking. I'm probably quoting the wrong song. I just know one of the lyrics is, "I breathe you in with smoke in the backyard light," and that just has such like vivid memories of like a time in my life. This girl that I was hanging out with, and just like literally hanging out in the background, smoking cigarettes, and just like, because I feel like that song is all about this kind of like crazy love, that is crazy, not in a great way. And then I know that when Vic was writing some of these songs, there was obviously a real personal background to it, where he kind of refers to hearing from this girl that he loves that she's pregnant and with another man's baby, and it's pretty much over with them. And I think that obviously comes from a personal real life story.
Yeah, that's a great song. They shot a music video for it. I wasn't impressed with the music video, but it's a great song. I'm going to have to say Drell is probably one of my favorite songs by them, which is also not a huge hit. But I remember, was it you that had a red truck?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I remember listening to that album, driving around in the red truck, and we'd just be like, dude, that drum fill that Mike does in this song, dude, it's so good. So, I mean, that's probably my favorite song by them. I don't want to be clicky and say, yeah, Boy and Dollface, but that also is up there for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's anyone can hear the intro to that song and know exactly what they're listening to right away. My favorite music video, I think, was Bulls in the Bronx, where it has like the lights, the kids, and there's
Oh yeah.
I love that just because I don't know, I just the whole fact that they're playing in the house and all those lights are just going off randomly. It just gave it cool vibes. These kids are doing kind of creepy and weird. I really like that music video.
Yeah, I'm a fan of I don't want to say live videos, but live footage videos. For some odd reason, I just enjoy those a lot more than storyline videos. I mean, that's just me. I think they did one for off the first album. They did one, and I love that video. But yeah, man, is there anything you want to brush up on?
I do know this band definitely inspired me a lot, especially with Vic's high vocals and their song structure. I feel like when I sing, I have like a high voice, like that's just my range too.
Yeah.
So this band definitely was a huge influence for me, for singing, for songwriting. It was very much influenced by Jaime. I know I tried to copy his hair for a long time because he just had this iconic like.
Does have good hair.
Blonde streak in it. I love that he played a P bass. That shit was just so cool.
Yep.
Rocked out so hard. I mean, everyone in that band was so unique. Tony with his tattoos I think are so sick. His owl that he has on his neck now is so dope. And he used to have those like good what was that? I can't even think of the guitars, but they would have like the two horns there from they were super iconic guitars. But he would like have
SG?
What was it?
An SG?
Yes, the NSG, and it was like dripped with like green paint.
Yeah. That's actually that's an ESP Viper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's sick. I mean, it's got the same layout as an SG. One side's a little bit longer than the other, but yeah, dude, bitchin' fucking guitar.
Yeah.
Bitchin' guitar. Yeah, dude. I mean, they obviously impacted the scene. They opened up a lot of doors. They took a lot of people under their wings. Definitely had a huge impact. I mean, I remember spending hours in the garage listening to them, trying to copy drum fills and drum beats and trying to pick stuff apart to make it my own, you know, kind of stealing shit. Just an all around a great band, and I'm excited to see what they got coming out.
Yeah, I really want to see them live again. They always put on such a good live show that I've been really kind of longing to go see them live again. I do like. I feel like they're growing up. They're grown up now.
Oh yeah.
They started like when we did, like when they were young and in high school, and they were really successful. So they toured a lot. But I feel like now is the time where everyone, obviously, Jaime has gotten married now, but everyone else has pretty serious girlfriends and is starting to actually build their lives separate from the band, because I feel like band life was 100% their life for a long time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's rough. And I mean, for them to be as close as they are, dude, they did a great job of finding members that work well with them. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, I see pictures and it's them and all the girlfriends together, and you know, sometimes that could be tough with, you know, girls and stuff like that. But it seems to be working out, and I think that's what's most important. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming out.
Yeah.
And time will tell.
Yeah, I feel like they've all kind of gotten to take a break, so now they can come back to the game with a new perspective, a new kind of set of eyes to kind of look at their next step as a band, and maybe musically they'll completely change everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something that's super from left field and we did not expect to happen.
I'm hoping for that, honestly. I really am.
Yeah. I hope it sounds like this is the time of their life. They're probably all going to start. Jaime got married, but they'll probably start getting married, having kids, settling down. I know a couple of them have their own production companies and do they have their own ventures. I know for a while Tony was in he had a clothing company. I think it was called Key Street. I don't think
Key
he's
Street, yeah.
I think he's a
Yeah,
part of
I rocked that for a little bit, but yeah, I don't think that he's affiliated with that anymore.
Yeah, but it's just good to see them not spiral out of control. Sometimes Johnny Craig's an example, man. Sometimes you can get lost in the drugs and the partying, and then before you know it, your career has this big, mark on it, and it's a bummer. But it seems like all those boys have a good time, but then they also manage their personal life and now are enjoying it.
Yeah, man. I mean, you said it very well. Sometimes your ego can get the best of you. I mean, I'm for one of guilty of that, and it could steer you down some wrong shit, dude. So it's good to see him still rolling.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. So now we're
Holy
kind
shit!
of at the end now. This is the first episode that we've had like an outline, which I think has been super super good for us because I keep glancing over and being like, oh cool, there's a question, and I can kind of like jump onto that subject. But is there any kind of shout outs? I know we kind of touched on new bands, but is there anybody that you're excited to see besides Taking Back Sunday?
We got Taking Back Sunday. I know last week we talked about Back to the Beach Fest. I talked about Amberlin coming back. City and Color is going to be opening up for Alice in Chains. I'm hoping I can convince Savannah to go to that. I think I just saw that Whitechapel is going to be at the House of Blues, which is pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, other than shows, I'm not sure, dude.
I just
It's just
saw,
one of those things. I have to pick a day and kind of go through and see what everything's at.
Yeah, I just saw on Chain's website that Oh Sleeper is going to be playing at Chain on Thursday, April 18th. I mean, I'm a big Oh Sleeper fan, so that's probably going to be an awesome show. I'm seeing a lot more hip hop artists playing these venues now, so that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Whitechapel is going to be playing at Chain as well. We also got Oceano at Chain. Chain's still sticking in there, man.
Yeah, and I also see that. I mean, Chain had a pretty big punk scene, and it's cool to kind of see him getting back into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep stressing it, dude. This dude, Rat Boy. I'm gonna post a link as soon as we're done on here to get everybody to check him out. Super sick, super unique, something super different. I mean, the dude's 23. He's from, I think, England. I'm gonna say he's got like a Clash band, but he sounds like Tim Armstrong.
Oh wow.
And then he's got songs that sound like the Beatles, dude. It's wild. So I'm for sure gonna post a link and I'm gonna keep pushing that name out. So, Rat Boy, you got anything for me?
The homies band Day Seekers gonna be playing with the Plot and You and like Moss to Flame at Soma in San Diego on Saturday, April 20th. So if you're down in the San Diego area, you should go check them out. They're really, really, I mean, every band on that is going to be good. Bless the Fall is also going to be going to Soma. I also saw they were going to Glass House too, but they're going to be at Soma on Sunday, June 9th. So, I mean, Bless the Fall, again, that's another band that we'll probably do in the future because they're really, really good. The Glass House has some good shows coming Looks like we lost Lance, and this is like par for the course. We always seem to lose Lance toward the end. Let's see, let's see, he'll come back in now. It's totally hilarious because it feels like every week we do the same thing where Lance will get disconnected just for a little bit, but then, as always, he comes right back. Are you going to day 1 or day 2 for Taking Back Sunday?
I'm going day 1 this Thursday.
Nice. How stoked are you?
Extremely excited. I've been listening to Tell All Your Friends since 7th grade, so I know it from front to back. I know every single word, so I'm going to be reliving my early teens again. I know it's funny. My dad. Quick story. We go to see the Lawrence Arms and Amberetta at Chain Reaction.
Yeah.
I go to see Amberetta, and they said, "Oh, Amberetta's not playing tonight, but we have this fill-in band Taking Back Sunday." And I go and see them. I'm like, "Oh, they were good." My dad's like, "No, I bought you the CD." And I mean, for someone who's not into music, I don't think if he would have bought that CD, I wouldn't have been as into him as I am. But man, forever in debt for that dude, because I listened to that CD so much that it stopped fucking playing. I had to buy a second one. So
I remember
extremely.
somebody gave me that CD in like high school, and it was a burned copy, and it just said Taking Back Sunday, and on the top it said Tell All Your Friends. Now, when I read that, I didn't understand that was the name of the album. I thought that was what my friend was telling me to do. So I started making copies, and telling my buddies, like, you should listen to this album. It's so good. You should listen to this album. And because of that, me misreading the album and literally taking it as I need to tell all my friends, I got so many friends into Taking Back Sunday.
That's exactly what the purpose was.
Yeah.
When we have our Taking Back Sunday episode, we'll get into that. But extremely excited. What are you going? What's your deal?
So I was gonna try to go to day. The thing is, if I go, I want to go with you, and day 1 is sold out. So I'm like,
day 2 sold out.
Oh, I thought you said day 1 was sold out.
Day 2, Friday sold out. Thursday they still have tickets for Thursday, which is the one that we're going to.
So I'm gonna possibly get my tickets tonight then, because
let me know.
I got packing to do, but at the same time, I don't really want to miss that too.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. They're doing Tell All Your Friends in the entire, and then that same night after that set's done, they're gonna flip a coin to see if it lands on Louder Now or Where You Want to Be, and then they're gonna play that album in its entire.
Which one do you hope for?
I'm hoping for Where You Want to Be.
Okay, I'm with you right there.
Yeah, I've seen Louder Now. I think I've seen all those songs live, but to see Where You Want to Be live is going to be pretty special. So,
and then next Tuesday, we're going to be doing Taking Back Sunday as the next band. So it's going to be cool to be fresh from seeing them live to then now talking about them on here. Again,
we'll get some live footage.
This is the first, and then of course, if you're there and you happen to run into anybody, just jump on the live and kind of, I don't know, see what happens. But this is the first video that I'm recording, so then it'll go on a YouTube page that I'll create. I'll put a link in our bio for this video, and then we'll just keep them stored on there so you can kind of rewatch and kind of get into it that way. I also wanted to thank K-Rock again for showing us some love earlier this week. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. K-Rock showed love. I want to say Kevin and Bean. I want to say K-Earth 101 may have someone there, but yeah, K-Rock showed some mad love, dude. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited for next week, Taking Back Sunday. I hope you have a great week. Hopefully we can meet up and see each other on Thursday. Yeah. Fingers crossed for that shit. But if not, man, cheers. It was good talking with you. Another one in the books.
Yeah. Until next Tuesday, man. Have a good week and get at me. Let me know what's going on for Thursday. For for anybody watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support, and let's see if we can get some more people involved, man. More the better.
Hell yeah, man. All right, buddy.
Later, bud.